What if I told you that Red Bull has brought an upgrade to China that could completely change the balance of a season? Because what the Milton Keynes team has prepared for this Grand Prix isn't just a simple aerodynamic improvement. It's an evolution that revolves entirely around Max Verstappen. The key question is this: what exactly has changed on the Red Bull for China, and why could it make it even more dangerous in Verstappen's hands? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more analysis like this. The Chinese Grand Prix returns to a circuit that's very particular for engineers. Shanghai demands an extremely efficient car, long straights, long radius corners, and tire degradation that punishes any aerodynamic imbalance. That's why Red Bull has decided to introduce one of the most important upgrade packages of the season here. And everything points to a clear objective: to further maximize Max Verstappen's performance. To understand the magnitude of this upgrade, we have to start with the heart of performance in today's cars: the floor. Red Bull has worked intensively on the floor architecture, refining the aerodynamic channels that control the airflow traveling under the car. In the era of ground effect, every millimeter of these surfaces determines how much downforce can be generated without increasing drag. What the engineers in Milton Keynes have done is redesign several critical areas of the floor's edge to stabilize the flow when the car enters long, fast corners. This is key in Shanghai, where the car spends a lot of time under constant lateral loads. If the airflow remains stable, the car maintains grip. And if it maintains grip, Verstappen can attack the corners with much more confidence than the rest. Another important point is in the area of the side pods and the side air intakes. Red Bull had already developed one of the most aggressive concepts on the grid in this area, with extremely compact side pods that allow air to be channeled to the rear of the car very efficiently. For the Chinese Grand Prix, the engineers have further refined this philosophy. It's not simply about reducing size, but about guiding the airflow more precisely towards the diffuser. This improves the car's overall efficiency and allows for generating more downforce without significantly penalizing straight-line speed. On a circuit with long straights like Shanghai, this balance between downforce and efficiency is absolutely crucial. Changes have also been detected in the diffuser area, one of the most sensitive parts of the modern car. The diffuser is responsible for accelerating the airflow exiting from under the car and converting that flow into downforce. Aerodynamics. Red Bull has adjusted the geometry of this area to work in conjunction with the new floor design. The objective is very clear: to increase the car's stability when the driver begins to accelerate out of corners. This allows power to be applied earlier without the car losing traction. In the hands of a driver like Verstappen, that small advantage translates directly into tenths of a second in each sector. Another less visible but equally relevant aspect is the interaction between the rear suspension and the airflow. Red Bull has been using extremely clever solutions for several seasons to control how the car behaves when downforce changes. In China, it appears they have fine-tuned this interaction to keep the aerodynamic platform more stable during braking and acceleration. This means the car maintains the ideal angle relative to the ground for longer, allowing the entire aerodynamic package to work at its optimum point with greater consistency lap after lap. All these modifications are not just aimed at increasing downforce. They aim to make the car even more predictable, more stable, and easier to exploit at the limit. This type of behavior is exactly what Verstappen knows to use better than anyone else in Formula One today. To understand why this upgrade can make such a big difference, you first need to take a close look at Max Verstappen's driving style. Not all drivers extract performance from a car in the same way. Some rely more on braking stability, while others need a very strong front end to attack corners. Verstappen combines both in an extremely aggressive manner. He likes to enter corners at high speed, put weight on the front axle, and rotate the car quickly towards the apex. When the car has a stable aerodynamic platform, Max can maintain that style without compromising balance. The improvements to the floor and diffuser are designed precisely to reinforce that aerodynamic stability in the most critical phases of the corner. A more stable car on entry and at the midpoint of the corner allows Verstappen to do something that often makes the difference against the rest of the grid: brake slightly later than his rivals. When the airflow is kept clean under the car, downforce isn't lost suddenly during braking. This means the driver can maintain higher speed entering the corner without the rear end becoming unpredictable. On circuits with long corners like Shanghai, This is especially important because every small gain in minimum speed through the corner translates into several seconds of time saved. But the real benefit appears on corner exit. When the diffuser and floor work more efficiently, the car maintains more downforce even as the driver begins to apply power. This allows for earlier acceleration without causing rear tire slippage. Verstappen is particularly strong in this phase of driving. If he can get on the throttle earlier than the others, he immediately gains ground on the following straight. And on a circuit with long straights like the one in China, that ground quickly becomes a real advantage over the cars behind. There is another aspect that often goes unnoticed but has a huge impact on race pace: tire management. When the car is more aerodynamically stable, tire wear becomes more even and predictable. This allows the driver to maintain a consistent pace for more laps without stressing the tire compound. Verstappen is already known for his ability to control race pace while managing his tires. If the car now offers him even more stability, that strategic ability becomes even more powerful during long stints. All of this explains why every Red Bull upgrade usually translates into such a noticeable advantage when Verstappen is behind the wheel. It's not just about having more downforce or better straight-line efficiency. It's about creating a car that precisely amplifies the driver's strengths. When that combination comes together, Verstappen isn't just fast over a single lap. He becomes extremely difficult to beat throughout the entire race. After analyzing every detail, what Red Bull has brought to the Chinese Grand Prix doesn't appear to be a simple incremental improvement. Everything points to a carefully designed evolution to perfect the car's strongest point. The new work on the floor, the refinements to the side pods, and the optimized airflow to the diffuser all have one very clear objective: to maintain an extremely stable aerodynamic platform throughout the entire lap. When a car achieves this balance, the driver can attack corners with greater confidence, maintain more speed at the mid-corner, and accelerate earlier on the exit. In other words, the car becomes more efficient in every phase of driving. And that's where the real difference maker comes in: Max Verstappen. Over the past few seasons, he has demonstrated that when he has a predictable and balanced car, he can extract every last millisecond of performance. He doesn't need a perfect car on every circuit, but he does need one that responds precisely when he pushes to the limit. The improvements introduced in China seem to be heading in exactly that direction. They're not just looking to increase downforce, but to make the car's behavior even more consistent throughout the entire race. That's why this Chinese Grand Prix could become a benchmark within the season. If the new aerodynamic package confirms on track what the simulation data suggests, we could see Red Bull once again consolidate its position as the most complete team on the grid. And when a car combines aerodynamic efficiency, stability in long corners, and good tire management, the result is usually race pace dominance. Exactly the scenario in which Verstappen feels most comfortable. If Red Bull continues to develop the car with this technical precision, and Verstappen continues to exploit every detail of the package, the real question is no longer just who can win a single race. The question is who truly has the ability to sustain a constant battle against this combination of engineering, development, and talent for the rest of the season. After everything we've analyzed, the Chinese Grand Prix could become one of those moments that define the course of a season. Red Bull hasn't just brought new parts, they've brought an evolution designed to reinforce precisely what already made the car so competitive. When a leading team manages to improve aerodynamic stability, cornering efficiency, and tire wear control simultaneously, the impact is usually felt immediately on the track. And if that extra performance falls into the hands of a driver like Max Verstappen, the effect can be even more evident from the very first laps of the race. Now the big question is how the rivals will respond. Ferrari, McLaren, and Mercedes know that every Red Bull upgrade isn't just a one-off improvement, it's another step within a very clear technical philosophy. If the package introduced in China confirms its potential during qualifying and long runs, the other teams will have to react quickly to avoid falling behind in the evolution of the championship. In modern Formula One, constant development decides championships as much as driver talent. And if you're interested in understanding Formula One from a technical and strategic point of view, subscribe to the channel.